Hello, motherfuckers. we gotta start it that way. Okay, we are back. What do we have today? Is it I think episode number 10.
Yes, episode 10.
That must be something. That must mean something. Yeah, it must definitely be luck. We're here with Emily Hayden.
Hi, guys.
Super excited. And we're in your studio and everything looks fucking fantastic and it doesn't in ours.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you so much for letting us be here, borrow your studio, and having you on the podcast as well.
Of course. I'm stoked to have you guys. We just did an episode on mine, so I'm excited to see y'all bring out y'all's flair. The intro, I don't know how you top that.
That's why I always let her do the introduction.
I see it now.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we started that. Where does it even come from? It's like a TikTok concept or something. I don't know, but now I have to do it every time he makes me if I don't want to.
I feel like it's just you though. Like that's such your vibe. I feel like your name, like when you walk in a room, it just screams that, you know?
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah. yeah. Like you're a statement if you don't know it.
I agree.
Well, I'll take it as a compliment.
It is.
Well, I kind of just want to let the conversation flow, but I definitely have some questions for you. So I'll just start with a question and then we'll just kind of see where it goes. So how are you so awesome? How did you get so awesome? Because I feel like every time, for every like day or hour or whatever I spend with you, I'm more impressed by you.
That means so much to me. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't really know how to answer that. Because I'm like,
how
to me it's just normal.
Because I feel like you're very similar to us. I feel like the older I get, though, for every day that goes by, I just care less.
Yeah.
And I just care about things that actually matter. So I feel like you're the same. We connect very well. So how did you get like this?
Yeah. I think I've always been very driven since I was young. And then I encountered a lot of hardships and difficult things in life that everyone else also encounters. And I just chose that everything would make me a better version of myself and not a worse version of myself. So even myself now compared to 10 years ago, man, that girl had a lot to learn. She needed to learn a lot of patience. Like I was the best version of myself then, but I'm so much better now. And a lot of it is because of the hard things that I went through and that I chose to grow through. Because I feel like in life, you can either become resentful and bitter based on the things that you experience, or you can actually choose to learn, to grow, and to experience healing and allow it to make you a more developed and a better version of yourself. And, you know, my brand, it's called Evolve because I've made this lifelong decision to always evolve. No matter where I'm at, I'm always looking to how can I be the most excellent version of myself? What can I do to be a better communicator, a better sister, a better daughter, a better friend, a better, one day wife? Like I want to be just the absolute best that I possibly can be. And I will live every single day chasing that potential. So I feel like hearing you say that, going back to your question, how do you do it? I think it comes from this desire to be my fullest, to, if I die tomorrow, I want to know that I live today as the fullest expression of me, holding nothing back, truthful, honest, loyal, caring, genuine. Like those are the things that I really seek to express and display in my life. So I do my best to do that. I'm not perfect. I fail all the time at a lot of different things. I try to do my best and then someone lets me know that it didn't actually work out for them, right? Like imagine a communication scenario. I think I'm doing my best and it doesn't actually hit how I thought I wanted it to. That then becomes a learning opportunity. And I say, okay, I did my best, but how can I be better? How could I have communicated this differently? So it's just a willingness to grow, a willingness to evolve, and a desire to be me.
I love that you said that you wake up every day and just like want to be better and better. And I feel like that's, I said to a client this morning, and I think we just have to think, I think we just do this naturally. We just, every day we're trying to make this day count. Like it's our last day basically. And I told this client, are you, we need to get your session, this and that. And she said, it's okay. We have this much time left. And I say, no, work every day as if this freaking competition you're doing is tomorrow. She's like, oh my God, I really needed you to hear that. I never thought like that. I was like, no, think every single day should be as if you are working for the goal that is happening tomorrow.
Yes.
So I love that you said that because I think we don't say it out loud necessarily always, but I think that we're doing this every day.
I love that you just verbalized that, because I vlogged my bikini prep journey. I'm an IFBB bikini pro, and I vlogged my journey to pro card. And in part of that, I shared this mindset and perspective shift that I had. And it was that I'm not 4 weeks out. I'm not 3 weeks out. I'm actually literally, this meal decides if I get the gold or not.
Yeah.
This, not even this set, but this rep decides if I get the gold or
I
not.
have goosebumps right now.
Yeah,
talking about
like it's placing severe importance on the smallest little detail that seems insignificant. It seems insignificant in the moment to make sure that you're getting the proper amount of egg whites at meal number 1, right? But when you act as if this is the moment that decides if you win or not, that's when, oof, I have chills just thinking about it, because there's so much power in that, because then you never look past all these little details. You actually fully understand how important they are, and that consistency of this is the most important moment will get you so much further in life.
Yeah. And this is just, now we're talking about competing because we're competing, but this goes for everything. Everything we do. Like, you're not even on a competition prep right now, and you're still going into, we've been going to the gym with you every day, and you're just fucking killing it. And just, you look fantastic. And I say you're not even on a prep, and you're saying you're just doing a little prep for you. And I love that. Like, I need the same thing, because you don't necessarily have to compete. You don't have to be a competitor, but just go in there every day, and you just want to be incredible.
It goes back to how I want to live my life. I want to be the most excellent version of myself. And if my physique is not representing excellence and to my standard, not to everyone else's standard, I don't care what other people think I look like. If they think I look horrible, or if they think I look like the best, I don't care. It's what I feel about myself. And I want the outward to be an outward expression of how I choose to live my life inwardly. And at times it doesn't always match that. You know, there's different times and seasons for things, but definitely I'm healthy. I'm in a good spot to be able to do a cut. My body's actually responding, and it feels amazing. And now this is my time to portray that my most excellent self on the outside as well, which for me is just fun. Like it's, I feel like if I'm here on earth, I'm meant to be the most excellent version of myself. So why not show that in every aspect?
Do you do any kind of so-called bulking? Like, do you do anything where you're trying to actually put weight on?
I did. So I have been competing for almost 10 years. That's a while. Wow. For almost 10 years. And I did a lot of cycles of, you know, getting shredded for the show and then adding muscle. I would do some bulking. I always did. I called it improvement season. I never called it.
I love that.
Yeah. I never called it off season, because to me, when you're prepping and you're dieting for a show, you're just revealing what's there.
I call it the build season.
Yeah,
but
the build season.
I don't.
Yeah,
bulk has a bad.
Yeah, bulk
like
and off season.
Bad,
It doesn't truly represent what it really is.
I think off season is the actual on season.
100%.
That's when you actually work, because when you start cutting, you already did the work.
100%.
There isn't that much you can do then. All you can do is just lose your fat.
Yeah,
that is all.
It's hard because a lot of new competitors don't realize that, and they use their prep as like, oh, I'm going to get in shape. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're just actually revealing the shape that you already have. If you want new shape, you have to do that in the improvement season. So yeah, I definitely had some bulks. Right now, I have no desire to add massive amounts of muscle. Like I feel very happy with where I'm at. I want to maintain the muscle that I have, and if anything, just kind of trim up. And my goal right now is just to be the best well-rounded athlete that I can be.
I was just going to say, how do you feel when you put on weight? How does it make you feel?
Yeah. So previously I've definitely been in positions where I was a little uncomfortable. I didn't feel as confident. I never had any dirty bulks. It was actually worse when I went through health issues. When I was bulking and purposely adding weight, I of course didn't feel as good as when I was like pretty lean, but it was never too bad. When I went through health issues, that's where I looked horrible. I felt horrible. It just was not fun. I didn't feel like me at all.
Do you want to share any details about, you know, what those health issues were?
Sure. Yeah. So I was dealing with a lot of hormonal issues that I was unaware to, simply because I went and got my hormones tested, because I knew that was a smart decision. I'm a competitor. I should do that regularly. So I went to my regular doctor and I said, hey, I want my hormones tested. And she just did the most basic generic test ever and said, you're fine. You're a little low, but like you're absolutely fine and you're healthy. And that's it. And I was like, man, I guess I'm crazy. Like I must be crazy, or there's something wrong with me that I don't realize, that because I felt off in so many ways. I was lethargic. It was really such a struggle to get up out of bed, which is not me. I am like, when I wake up, I'm like, hell yes, like I get to do this again, you know? So for me to wake up and like have no motivation to get out of bed, being so tired, so lethargic, I couldn't recover from my training. Everything in the gym started to hurt. Like I'm known for my training. Like if you follow me on YouTube, watch my vlogs, I'm known for just truly training. I love it. And I train like an animal. I would go in there and do like some body weight stuff and my entire body was hurting. Like I had so much inflammation everywhere. So, you know, kind of a long story to say, all my hormones were off. And it wasn't until I got a full comprehensive blood work panel that really showed me what was really going on. And, you know, then I started working with Transcend, which is a company that we all met through. And Transcend was really incredible to help explain why exactly I felt, you know, how I felt. And then to create a custom protocol for me just to get my hormones back in healthy, optimal order. And man, I will tell you what, it was like I made that decision to start my HRT protocol and literally like 4 weeks to the day. And I'll say I felt like I saw some improvements pretty early on, maybe like 2-3 weeks, but I was like, no, I don't want it to be this placebo effect. Like, you know, I know that I'm taking hormones. I don't want it to be that's why. So I really waited. And I remember I had traveled. I didn't have much sleep. I had a lot of stress. I was speaking at an event and I hiked in the morning with all of that going on. And I had energy for the entire hike and I could have kept going. And I was just shocked. And my eyes, one thing that was strange is that my eyes wouldn't open up all the way in the morning. It would take like, no lie, like 30 to 45 minutes. Like I would sometimes like physically try to open my eyes because they were so heavy and so tired. And so this
is after you started the
no
the
that was
before that.
Yeah, before I started the hormones. And that's how tired and lethargic I was. So then after that 4-week mark hit, I remember on the hike being like, oh my gosh, I feel good. I have energy. My eyes have been open. I didn't have coffee. I didn't have to slam caffeine down my throat. You know, like I just started feeling so much better. And then now it's been, you know, months and man, I have my life back like fully and I feel amazing and I feel so good from the inside out. So I really recommend to everyone, not just competitors, get a full comprehensive blood work panel done because you really need to know what's happening internally. Some people try to do cuts or bulks and they don't understand why their muscles aren't recovering, why they feel horrible, you know, why they're not making progress, why for some odd reason their body won't drop fat. And sometimes it's something as simple as your hormones are a little off. And if you would actually get those on track, then you would actually start to see the progress that you're seeking to create.
And I know you coach a lot of people too, and a lot of women. Yeah. And I see too, do you often see as well? I know a lot of women come and they are on, like, I'm not kidding, between like 700 to 1500 calories a day. And been doing this for so many years. And they're just terrified to eat, not realizing that. I said the people that actually trust it and give it a shot feel so much better and start losing their body fat and start getting the muscle they want.
Yeah, because when you're not feeding your body goes into starvation mode, right? So even though you're eating just a little bit and you wonder why your body's staying the same, you feel stuck or you feel like you're starting to feel like skinny fat, it's because your body is hanging on to everything. It's even eating at your muscle sometimes if your calories are way too low, your protein's way too low. And so it's important to actually feed your body so that you can have a good training session and take care of your lean muscle. You know, I find a lot of women definitely undereat, and that's usually the problem. You know, it's occasionally it could be some overeating for sure, but a lot of people are undereating. They're just underestimating, you know, or I guess overestimating how much they're actually eating.
Yeah. What do you think it's a lot of, you know, social media and media is providing this false information. Something that has gotten huge, I think, is all these celebrity diets. And I'm like, you know, I always try to think like, what the fuck can we do? Like, what can we do to try to change that?
I think focus on helping one person at a time and then doing what we do, which is just share those little things on social media. We think because it's our normal lives that like sharing our lunch isn't a big deal, you know, and putting the little, here's chicken and here's why I'm eating these vegetables. Here's some micronutrients and here's a complex carb, right? We think it's not a big deal because it's normal to us. But for people that aren't in the industry or don't have much knowledge in that area, it really helps shape their decisions. You know, they look at it and they're like, you know what, I'm going to try that. Oh, and they like this seasoning with it. Let me try that. And then all of a sudden they enjoy eating this healthy meal. And I think, honestly, I think that creates more change than what we even realize.
Yeah. And just like all of us kind of talked about, and I started telling you guys how I've been being very repetitive on my social media, and it feels wrong in the beginning, right? Because you feel like, oh no, I don't want to post this because I already posted it. And I said, so I had a conversation with Jesse Tristan, and he said, you know, try to maybe like repeat things. So I've been doing that, and I realized that even though I repeated the exact same thing like 30 times, I still have somebody message me saying, oh my God, thanks Max for sharing this. I would have never known. And this is like a person that's followed me for years and never seen my post before.
Yeah.
Because I said, we're thinking people see this, but they don't, because we're not getting reach on social media.
Think about it this way. Think about the people that you follow on social media, right? Like, do you know what they ate for breakfast or lunch, or do you know what outfit they were wearing, or what company they tagged? Like, how fast do you scroll through those things, you know? So like, I understand, and I feel that way too. Like, we're the ones taking the content, so we feel like, oh, like I've already shared this before. But truthfully, it's not everyone sees all your posts.
Yeah. How much are you very, like, do you think a lot before you make a post? Are you I'm sure you like us too, just very picky with
so
what we put out
what
there.
Platform, I guess. That's what it matters for me. It depends which platform. TikTok, absolutely not. I'm having so much fun on TikTok. I just started. Thank you guys. You guys definitely
we gotta
me.
just like, we're just gonna move here now.
Yes.
So we can do it every day.
Yes, please. In TikTok, there's really no thought. It's just a fun platform where I feel like I get to show all the different aspects to myself. YouTube, a lot of thought and intentionality goes into that. I don't want to create a YouTube video that doesn't have the vibe or the feel or the message that I want to be out there. Instagram stories, nah. It's like in the moment. I just want to share something that's happening in my daily life. Instagram feed post, definitely way more thought out for sure. Yeah.
Do you have anything to say over here, Mr. King?
I know. Hi, how are you?
So quiet.
Welcome to the show.
You're so quiet. He has his days. Some days he's just. I always say this, so I know him very well, and you've seen some of it, like his very funny, crazy side when he starts laughing and just goes banana. And I always say, like, can you please show the world this?
I think we got to bring it out of him.
Yeah, because I love that side. I love that side of you.
I know, it's great.
I figured since you had all those questions, I didn't want to interrupt you. You guys had a
flow you can
going.
like, you know,
you had a really
just
good flow
let the
going,
conversation
and I was just interested in just listening to what you were gonna ask her. So I figured it made sense.
Do you want to tell us why you are punched in the face, or why you have a scratch in the face?
Oh yeah, me and Emily were doing some jiu-jitsu earlier in Alpha Land.
I really did do that to your face. That like hurts my soul on so many levels.
I mean,
I can't figure out what it is though. How?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, no way. And
is
he's
it
like,
a
yeah,
nail?
it just happened. It
It
had to have been a nail. That's the only thing I can come up with. But I literally just clipped and filed. So
I think it looks great. It shows
I
that you
really
guys
don't
worked.
care.
It really.
I mean,
I thought it looked cool.
It actually like
it,
really
and it was
upset
cool.
me. Like,
I mean, when I spar, well, I haven't sparred in a long time, but when I spar, I used to come home with bruises, bloody lips. So
I'm
it
okay
doesn't
with
even
bruising,
bother me.
like, you know, your arm or something. I
Yeah.
get bruises all the time, but like the face, like, really upset me. Again, I'm really
It's
sorry.
small. It will be
Doesn't
gone.
matter.
So what? How was she? How was she
she's
fighting
really
wise?
good. She
Yeah?
had me in the rear naked choke 3,000 times.
Yeah. Give me a little time. I'm coming for you guys.
Yeah.
She's really good. I was very impressed. I was just kind of like practicing on what would I do if I'm in this situation, and she was just coaching me through it. She's really good at what she does.
I was definitely not coaching jiu-jitsu. Let's be honest. I'm very
You kinda
beginner.
I
mean,
doesn't
long have
matter
you
if you're
been
beginner or
fighting?
not. I mean,
I just started this year in end of March, I think, or maybe April. But we did boxing before that and like a little Muay Thai boxing type stuff. And he was able to put me through like some combos and, you know, we're doing some pad work and that was so much fun. I told him, I was like, man, if I could get this kind of instruction all the time, you know, that like one-on-one interaction.
Oh yeah.
And we both had like the biggest smile on our faces because like we're like, we'd much rather be doing this than doing
I
another
realized
lifting
I'm like
session.
training over there. I'm like, yes, they're not training. I mean,
Where
it's still
though?
training though. I know it's still training.
Yeah.
So why did you start fighting? Like what made you want to start doing that? Because I know you go, maybe not every day, but pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
no, usually I go like 5-6 times a week. This week's been a little different, a lot of things going on. But yeah, I have always wanted to get into martial arts, boxing. Jiu-jitsu is kind of like came on more recently. But I've always been so focused on my bodybuilding. You know, I've been in the industry for 10 years, competing very competitively, and that was my whole focus. And every time I tried to like do a little bit of it, and show prep would come, and I had to focus on that. Like, you really do have to put your entire focus into that. So now that this year I knew I wasn't stepping on stage, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to get to explore other passions, hobbies, interests that I have. And, you know, fighting has been one of those for a while now. And I started and fell so hard in love with it. Like, just fell in love with it. It fulfills me in so many ways that I did not even expect it to fulfill me in. You know, that has like the most amazing community. You are training with different partners every time. So there's a lot of like personal interaction, which for me, I love. Like, I love meeting people and having that interaction. And it also has really helped me with my self-love, which is, I don't know, something that I just did not expect. Mainly because you have to look absolutely horrible. Like, no makeup, like you're sweating through everything. Everyone sweats on each other. You have probably dirt on your face sometimes, and these people still like smile at you and like love you and accept you. And I'm like, if they love me, I should also love me.
Yes.
You know?
No, I love that too. So not for the fighting, but also now we've been training at this gym over here, and we started training in a gym at home that is really hot. They keep it like 89 degrees, and I freaking love it. And the same here, just training in the heat. And it's like, the crazier I look, the better I feel.
Yeah. And the harder you train.
Yeah.
Kind of just facts.
I just love it.
Yeah. Alphaland's pretty sick. And I'm just trying to convince them to get those mats so that we can come back and not have to do it on the turf.
For the fight. Oh, yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
it
was a little dirty too. We got
a little dirty.
I was like, oh, we're disgusting.
Well, it's real life. It's like when we had a podcast with this guy who's a Sifu, and he said, do you know what it's like to get your face mushed in the freaking asphalt?
Oh, asphalt.
You know, that's different.
It's next level. We got to try that next time.
I mean, it's real though, because he said if you ever get attacked or something, you're going to be fighting a person who, first of all, probably doesn't know how to fight, does everything in their power to just kill you, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing, too, though, that I've learned about, especially jiu-jitsu. I will never just judge someone by the way that they look on if I can take them or not. Yeah. There are so many, like, unassuming moms that could whoop ass that I'm just like, I even told her, I was like, I don't mean this in a rude way, but, like, I would never think that you could whoop my ass. I
mean, that's a great thing. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should never have gotten tattoos. Then people wouldn't assume that I'm like a badass, because people are like, oh, you're a badass. No, I'm not a badass, but yeah, I'm strong. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of wish. It's almost like I always wanted to have a really ugly car that has like a crazy engine. You know? So nobody would ever think.
Yes. No, I love the vibe. I love it. It's like the little low key badass.
Yes.
Yeah. Not on display.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got you. It's like one time I tried to go, I was in Venice Beach, living on the beach, and I wanted to go to the beach at night. And I knew that you shouldn't do that. It's unsafe. But I was like, I need it. I'm going crazy. I need the ocean. So I like dressed in my biggest hoodie and in my biggest joggers, and I put like 2 hoodies on and like, you know, put the hoods over. So I was trying to be low key, right? Like no one could know who I was. And I'm literally like walking, thinking that I'm being under disguise. And this random homeless man goes, hey, you look like a professional athlete. I'm like, damn it.
Wait, how the hell did they know that?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, the only people that have hoodies on the beach that are athletes. If you think about it, because
it's not true.
I mean,
really?
Well, in California,
it's
maybe
cold. It was
because
cold. Like,
says Achilles Mr. Hoodie over here.
That's
who
true.
wears a
Yeah,
hoodie
who's
at
not
all
actually
times.
not wearing a hoodie right now? What is that
the
about?
first time?
Yeah, I mean, because I remember waking up in the morning when I lived on the beach, right there in Singer Island. I would wake up in the morning, put my hoodie on, and I would be jogging with my hoodie. I'd probably do like 5 miles, and then I take my hoodie off and then kind of walk back. But like people always like, oh, wait, you do something, like, because you're the only one here running with a hoodie on. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just.
I can never train with a hoodie on. I guess people do it to sweat more, but I can't freaking do it.
I can't do it.
I don't
in the
know
heat.
why. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I get hot and sweating, I'm like, get everything off of me now.
It's the same with like big pants. I can't do it. I would have rashes on my thighs. So I don't train in tight pants to look sexy. That's definitely not it. I just don't want to have like flesh wounds on my thighs.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe I think it comes from when I was kind of self-conscious with my my body. And I would always put a hoodie on when I would go to the gym, and I still do it. But now it's like when I take the hoodie off, I'm like, I feel like I'm a different person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
it's just
that's
like,
dope.
you know, I'm like, yeah, boy, I got to pump now, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a whole thing in the gym community, right? The pump cover. You gotta like
Oh,
get
yeah.
the pump and then you take it off.
Okay.
It feels good to like take it off and like you already look good versus like walking
yeah.
in the gym with no pump.
I agree.
For sure. Okay, guys. I want to hear a little cold plunge. Okay, let's rewind. Cold plunge story. I know you've been doing it for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a crazy story now. And now I haven't even tried yet.
Okay, we're gonna do it tomorrow
Tomorrow
or tonight. Do you want to do tonight?
Yeah, I think you should do it
Wait,
tonight.
Tonight?
tomorrow.
I think
we
tonight.
already
Tonight?
showered. Okay, I gotta
Let's do
try
it
it though.
tonight,
I
man.
have to
There's
try
only
it.
one
Tonight
life
or
opportunity
tomorrow,
you
it's
get.
fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I gotta try it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
maybe do I have to dip my head?
You don't have to. No.
Because if we do it tonight, I don't want to dip my head.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But if I should dip my head, then I don't know. Whichever. I gotta do it though.
Yeah,
I gotta
you
try
have to
it.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so I started cold plunging recently. I have it's called the Cold Plunge, and it's this beautiful like porcelain bathtub. So it's really aesthetic. It looks really pretty, and it's great because you don't have to carry like bags of ice or anything.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I started cold plunging initially. What I thought was for the physical benefits of it, right? The reduced inflammation, less aches and pains, better recovery. You know, I thought it was all about for the training that I was doing.
Mhm.
And then when I started cold plunging, I realized that the like mental health benefits outweighed all of the physical benefits for me. I don't know that I would continue doing it like every day just for the physical benefits,
Mhm.
but the mental health benefits that I get out of it are what honestly drives me to keep doing it every single day. It's so amazing for you.
Did you know that when you started, or you only knew
yeah,
about the physical?
So I knew that it was supposed to release endorphins and like, you know, make you feel better and all these things. But when you actually have the tangible experience of feeling that on a daily basis and every day you walk in there different, right? Maybe you have a really, really stressful day and you're in a weird headspace and you get in there within 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes only. What else in this world can you do for 3 minutes and have a return of investment of a completely changed attitude? You walk out of there with more like peace, more presence, more clarity, you just feel so much better. So for me, I fell in love with it for that aspect. And that's definitely what kind of drives me to keep doing it. And it's one of my favorite things to share with my friends. So I love when people come and I get to put them through it, which brings me to when you decided to do it. Tell us your story. Tell us your story of the cold plunge.
Do I have to? No,
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
No, you don't have to talk in the podcast. You
No,
can
I'm
just sit in the
I'm
corner.
Just kidding. Man, how do I feel like I'm like, my mic is like coming in and out. Maybe it's just me, but like, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, cool. How could I? It's really hard to explain this. I mean, the best way that I could describe it is, you know, I remember before going into the water, I looked at Emily and I was just kind of like, all right, well, I guess I'm ready now. And she was coaching me through it, like what to do in terms of breathing and all that. And for some reason, I just had this calmness to me, kind of knowing that, you know, I knew I was going to get through this, I guess. And
I was gonna say, what did you tell yourself before you stepped in there? Because I'm trying to think, like, what am I gonna like? How do you like? Okay, how do you prepare yourself?
for me, it's like I've been through so much in my life already, so it's just like this is just something else. Like it's something light. Like for example, I mean, I look at it as like going through war my own entire lifetime, and it's just like this is nothing compared to what I've been through. So it's just like this is not going to do anything that's going to affect me negatively, like because I've already embraced the negativity and all the things that I've been through in my life. I kind of turn it into a positive thing. You know, I have a positive mindset towards life now. So I dip myself in, and you know, at first I was kind of breathing a little bit hard because obviously this is, you know, your first initial reaction, your body's going to first take over and say, okay, well, what's going on? This is uncomfortable. Like, you know, it's think that it's dying, you know, so it's going to have this nervous reaction. So, but once you calm it down with your mind and you tell yourself like, okay, cool, this is just going to heal you. So I just told myself this is
How
just a
long do
healing.
you think it took you until you like calm down?
I feel like it took me like 30 seconds to a minute, I guess.
Not even.
I don't know.
even.
Right. I just laid down and, laid back and the more I was focusing on my breathing and then just allowing my body to take my mind to take over. And I just told myself, everything's okay. This is nothing. This is chill. And like, you know, now it's time for you to meditate. And go to places that you've never been before, apparently, because that's kind of what happened. So once I closed my eyes and, you know, I had my hands towards my chest and I kept feeling my heart beat. And then after that, I kind of just said, let go. So I let go. And once I let go, I was just, the first place I went to was my past. It's very weird. You know, started going to my past and just remembering my childhood and everything that I've been through. And then as I was going, I went backwards when I first dipped in, but then when I started remembering all these things that were coming to my mind, I was kind of going towards my future and just remembering everything that I've, you know, experienced in life. And then as I was getting closer, my body started getting warmer. Like I felt hot in the water. Like I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't feel cold anymore. So, and then on top of everything else, I was mainly thinking about God. I was like, God, you're here with me. I feel you. And I know that this isn't going to harm me. I know this is going to be something good for me. And the more I kept thinking that, the more I kept going towards. And I felt like I was not necessarily in front of God, of course, but like around God's presence. And it felt amazing. I wanted to go there and be there for 10 minutes plus. Like it was just a magical experience. And it's something that I will never forget.
So you're saying that 3 minutes is like a good time frame to do it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what is like what's the longest you've been?
I could go for a very long time. I don't do that because there's no point in going past what gets you the benefit that you're looking for.
Okay.
I'm sure you could do a little longer and, you know, get great results. Like I was on my phone once and went like 7 minutes on accident, but it wasn't like me trying to do that. I could easily go a lot longer, but again, your body starts to go into hypothermia. And I think sometimes people get like an ego about it of like, oh, how long can I go? Right.
Yeah.
When it's like you're missing the point here.
Yeah.
But I do have to say about that whole thing, I want to give like my perspective on that because I coach a lot of people through the cold plunge. And so before I was like, you know, giving him little tips and things. And he was like, this is going to be easy. And I was like, okay. Cause I know that you can't hide in the cold plunge. The cold plunge brings out everything. So instead of being like, it's actually hard, you should, I was like, okay. Cause I was like, it's just going to bring it out of you. Like I don't have to say anything. He gets in. He breathes, how I was going to say 10 seconds when you said like 30 to a minute. Like, I'm not joking. He breathed a few times and then it's like, I literally physically watched him release and then he wasn't even there and I knew it. And I just like let him be in his element. You know, we had like music playing and then the timer went off and he gets out and I hand him his towel and kind of like, okay, like let's, you know, go outside. And cause we were inside the garage and I just look at him and I was like, where'd you go? And he was like, wait, what? Like he had no idea. And I was like, you don't realize, like I just witnessed that entire thing. Like I could tell that he was just in a completely different space. So it was really beautiful actually to watch because I was able to I felt like I was really in tune with what was happening there. And I will say like, most people don't respond this way. This is not very normal, but it usually takes like practice to get there, you know, with a lot of practice. Like I've been able to, you know, have some really incredible experiences with it as well. But yeah, it's just a really incredible tool. If people want to try to do it, you don't have to get a cold plunge. You can actually just start with like cold showers. And that's a great way to start practicing.
And it would be the same benefits.
Not the exact same, I don't think, but it's very beneficial as well. Even if you do cold showers, like all the way with your head in, definitely very beneficial.
I always did that when I was younger because these days I feel like I'm so sensitive to cold. Like, I'm always cold and I always tell people I'm like, I think I'm allergic to cold. But I remember when I was little, I used to like showering cold. And I had an ex-boyfriend of mine, they had an apartment in Spain and there was only so much hot water. And I would always shower last because I was the only one who didn't care that it was freezing water. I was like, I don't care. I'll wash my hair in here.
Well, I'm excited to see you try it.
Interesting how that changed.
Yeah.
Right?
I could relate to that because I remember, I don't know if I've told you this before, but there were times in my house that we had to boil our water because we didn't have any heat. So we would like have to boil water and then take cold showers. So, but not that has nothing to do with that experience, but you know, but for the most part, I definitely think I could have gone more than 10 minutes or more. Yeah. Because I was just, I wasn't there.
Are you going to keep doing it?
Oh, yes.
How are you going to keep doing it?
I don't know. Maybe I should get my own cold plunge.
Just put it in your living room where you have
the furniture
when I
get my
anyway.
house.
Yeah,
no,
just do it. Podcast room and cold plunge. That's all we need.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Here's the thing too. The thing about doing a cold plunge is like a daily practice is that you are choosing every single day to put yourself in a really uncomfortable situation. At the end of the day, it's very uncomfortable to feel how you feel, and then have to get in this freezing cold water. It's not a pleasant experience. So especially in the world of personal development and personal growth, we're always talking about put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And yet we sit in the places that we're most comfortable on a podcast, on film, on TikTok, on social media, with friends that we enjoy. Everything around us is comfortable. So it's a really great way to introduce an uncomfortable element on the daily, which provides for a lot of growth, a lot of grit, a lot of resilience. So there's a lot of benefits I could go on.
Wait, so is it plugged, like, is it electricity, or how do you keep it cold?
The one that I have is temperature controlled. There's a filter, so the water is clean, it's clear. There's actually light, so it like looks nice.
So is it expensive? Because you have it plugged in all the time, right?
Yeah. No, it hasn't. I don't think it's changed my bill too much. My bill's on automatic.
Well, I don't really care for me, but I'm sure people wonder. If they buy a thing like this, are they gonna be able to afford to keep doing this?
For sure. I think on the website it tells you like how much electricity it actually uses, but it's not enough to like. I don't think it's enough. If you're buying a cold plunge, you can afford the electricity for it.
Yeah,
you know.
Because I'm from Sweden, and not in Sweden so much, but in Scandinavia or more like Finland and stuff, people love to do this whole thing in the winter where they run out and like lay in the snow or like jump in the freaking ice cold water. I've never done it though.
I've never done that. That would definitely.
But that's a thing.
That would definitely scare me. I'd be down to do it, but it would definitely scare me a little bit.
Because then you do that and then go in the sauna, and it's funny. Like, I hate saunas.
Really? Why?
I can't breathe.
Wait, hold on. So you
we
hate the cold?
Yeah,
hate the heat.
It makes no. I love the heat. I love heat.
You don't like sauna,
but not sauna. I can't breathe. That
I
sound
think
whiny. I'll do. Here's the thing. When it comes to my health, it's certain things I do, certain things I eat, certain ways I train is uncomfortable, and I'll do it. So if this helps my health, I'll do it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm not whiny like that. I'm just saying it's funny how I'm like, fuck, I don't like the sauna, I don't like the cold. I mean, I'll still do it.
You didn't like the water, but you went out there and you swam and you learned how to do all these things, and you put yourself in uncomfortable
so I said I used to be
situations,
terrified of water, so I took a diving license because I don't like when there's something that scares me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Conquered that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was at one point I was afraid of heights, and then one day I went to Hawaii and I jumped off a 70-foot waterfall.
How did it feel?
It felt amazing, and I just kept
70
doing
foot?
it. I went, and as soon as I did it the first time, I went up there like 10 times, and I kept jumping.
You see, it's like you just gotta take that first step.
And I dove in. Like I didn't
You
dive.
dove?
I didn't dive the first time, but finally the last time I think I dove, but I didn't dive correctly.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It hurt a little bit, but then after that,
How did you jump the first time? Like, did you cannonball it?
No, I jumped.
I don't know.
No, I jumped in like how nobody's supposed to be jumping in. Like, you jump in straight on. You're not supposed to jump that way.
Oh,
So
what
that
are you
was kind
supposed to
of
do then?
at an angle, kind of at an angle.
yeah,
Really?
that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait, why? So you don't hit the bottom or something? Or
I guess just
why?
probably the
impact.
force of the water.
Yeah, the impact, I guess. So, but yeah,
it's not like you can really control that
I
when you're in
mean,
the area.
you know what I'm saying. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how it was. I was around people that were from Hawaii, and they were like Hawaiians, and they were like, "Listen, man, you got to jump like this," and because they know the water, they're in love with the water.
Yeah.
They know all about the water. So, but yeah, then after that, I just kept jumping. It was addicting after that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the water. I love the ocean.
Yeah.
The ocean is one of those things that like brings me to life.
Same.
Yeah.
So too with the scuba diving. First, I was so scared I couldn't even snorkel. First, and then after my first dive, I was like, "What kind of job do I need to live down here?"
Literally.
Like, is there a job I can apply for? And then right after, I was just like, night dive, shark dive, wreck dive. It's like, what else can we do?
Wow. Yeah, when I took myself on a solo vacation recently, and once I got in the water and got snorkeling and did that little like mini dive, you can get me out of the water. And same thing, my brain starts going. I'm like, okay, how do I move my entire life to an island? And I was like, maybe this is dramatic. Hang on, Emily.
No, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do
Honestly,
that.
though, we could go for a little bit.
I think so. I think we should.
Yeah, I don't know. I also remember in Hawaii when I jumped off, there was another place. It was like a reef, but the water was like kind of like crashing back and forth, and like I went there with a Hawaiian, of course, and he was just jumping in like nothing. He's like, you gotta time the wave, because if you time it wrong, then the current could take you. And I'm just like, all right, let's do it. So I jumped. I jumped in. Bro. I almost lost control of my body when I jumped in because the force was taking me. And like, I just do crazy stuff like that. I don't know why. Sometimes I just feel like I need to put myself.
You're
in
an
these
adrenaline addict.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I am. Even one. If it wasn't for the whole thing with my brother with the whole motorcycle, I would have one right now.
Yeah.
Well, things like that can definitely.
I used to ride.
Yeah.
I had a motorcycle. Yeah. And then I was actually not first responder, but like the first person onto an accident, a motorcycle accident. And then I sold my bike pretty quickly after that. It was intense. That was like an ER episode in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But to be honest, I would get a motorcycle again.
I always wanted one too.
Yeah, I would probably get a night rod or something. Not a ninja. Ninja would probably.
I had a ninja.
Yeah, ninja. I mean, I would definitely get a ninja part of my collection, but a night rod now would be ideal because I'm just not gonna like do like $100 and something miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would. That's why I don't have one. So
yeah,
Scratch
I used to ride.
You would.
Scratch that.
I used to ride motocross to school. When everybody else had a
Stop.
scooter, I was like, I want a motocross. You're not supposed to drive that on the streets, though.
No.
I would be like, meh, to school on this thing.
You were a badass.
I just like, so my dad used to own a racing school. So I like grew up with this.
Shut up.
And people, I'm a good driver. And I know, I swear, every guy I know, they're like, yeah. All women say that. I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. Like, trust me.
You're like,
I know how to drive.
Yeah. You're like, you have no idea where I come from.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Okay, so I want to ask you now, so what's your next goal? Since you're not doing a competition or anything like that, what's like your major goal that you're working towards now?
The biggest thing this year is just releasing my first book. So that will be releasing later this year, and it's something I've been working on for a while, and that's kind of like my passion and my heart in a bunch of pages.
We got to do a huge book signing party.
Yeah, I'm going to do a big book tour actually all over. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah, that's definitely my biggest goal, and it's going to be something I'm really proud of, honestly. And, you know, I've always been really proud of the things that I do, but this is, I think, going to be a little different for me, you know, having it all like in one book in one place.
What is it about? Can you tell us?
Yeah, it's about, you could probably guess it, evolving and the process of evolving and how to evolve in your life. And I give people a literal like roadmap on how to evolve in their life and how to, in a really truthful and honest way, assess where they're at, how to make those changes and to get to where they want to go. And it's been really cool because as I've been writing the book, I have been evolving at such a rapid rate. I was speaking to my book publisher this morning and she was like, what are we going to do? Like, we keep saying like your life is changing dramatically and like all these things happen like week by week. There's these new, you know, things that are going on and lessons you're learning. And I told her, I was like, look, we literally just have to decide to stop and like end the book because like we need to get to the next one.
Just make it a TV show and you can keep going.
Yeah. You never know. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. She's had a lot of great things to say about the book and just the impact that it's had on her, and I'll let her share that one day. But yeah, that's definitely my
I'm
next
very
goal.
excited to read it.
Thanks, guys. I'll sign it for you.
Oh, please.
Oh yeah, I thought she.
I expect nothing else.
Right.
Say what?
I thought she said I'll sign it for you. I'm like, what?
Wait.
Oh no, I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to sign it as well. I don't know.
No.
That's fine. Okay, Achilles, do you have any fun questions for her?
Yeah, what made you?
I mean, I can keep squirting questions there. I have no
we
problem.
know.
But
Phrasing. What?
So what made you want to start Evolve, the podcast?
Evolve actually started as a YouTube series, and it's because I started on YouTube documenting my life, and it started as documenting my bikini prep series. And then I was going through a really difficult season in my life. And when I was starting a new series on YouTube, I was like, I want a word for the series, something that's going to describe what it is that I'm documenting. And it just kind of came to me, and it was Evolve. And if you go back to like, I have a series called Evolve, and it's episode like 1 of 50. I explain what evolve means. You know, evolve is to grow and to change, and it's not changing the original thing. It's just developing further and better and more. You know, evolving is all about embracing the uncomfortable and becoming the absolute best version of you. And it sounds pretty, and my logo is even like the butterfly. It's really pretty, right? But evolving is not pretty at all. And it requires a lot of difficult conversations, difficult decisions, and there's a lot of pain and heartache that you have to go through in order to get to the healing. And evolving is a constant process. It's not a destination. It's a chosen lifestyle, a chosen intentionality of how you live your life on a daily basis. So it started as a YouTube series. I did 50 of 50. It then became a tattoo, which was my first tattoo ever. And then after that, I believe is when I started the coaching and mentorship program, because I had, spent tons of years growing in my own life. I wanted to show other people how to evolve in their lives. And that became my mentorship program, Evolve X. And then after that is when I started the podcast, Evolve with Emily. And this was just a way to get my messaging out there, because I'd never sat down and just spoken. It was always like Instagram stories or YouTube videos. So it's cool because Evolve has like quite literally evolved so many times. And now this next step is, I had Evolve the retreat, and that's the in-person tangible experience where I created intentional scheduling and experiences throughout that event that would truly break them out and help them evolve within a weekend. And it was the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done 2 now.
I was just going to say, what's the first one? It was 2.
Yeah, I've done
I
2.
would love to go to one.
Yeah, dude,
Seriously.
it's really incredible. Like, I always feel like I'm floating after those things. It's one of those things that I don't have to even try. Like, by the time I actually get to the event, it's just pure flow, and it's so much going on, and it's so much energy, and I don't feel drained. It's like, it's one of those moments where you're like, oh, I was literally designed to do this. I was designed to hold space for and love on and guide and help and be there for like these women, and men. There's some men there too. And then the next step of that is the book. So Evolve, that's how it started, and that's kind of how it's evolved up until now. And I know that it's actually just beginning right now.
So how is it whenever you're going to do a podcast or a YouTube video or anything like this, do you have to think a lot to come up with what the content's going to be, or is it just coming to you?
That's a really good question. And I found that anytime I try to overplan it, I realize that I'm operating out of like Emily's judgment of what I should do. Right. And like, I'm a very spiritual person, and it's my goal to be like free flowing and allow God to flow through me, and whatever I have inside of me is supposed to come out. Right. So anytime I overplan, it doesn't really happen. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll record an episode in my studio, and I'm like trying to think of a subject that I think is great. And it's okay. And I don't feel it. Right. And then I'm like, I pause and I phrase a question. I say, what's the message that people need to hear? And I might think of like one word, or I might think of a scenario, or I might think of like an image that sparks a thought. And I go, oh, that's the message. And then I turn it on and it flows. And once that happens, I'll literally turn the camera off and I start laughing. Like, my bad. I was trying to do that like in my own strength and in my own, So yeah, it's definitely better when I don't try to like plan it out so perfectly. I'll have an idea of what I want to say, but oftentimes it's me just really tuning into that like higher wisdom inside of me and allowing that to flow out.
How do you see your future? Like, what's your dream life? What would it look like?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so my dream daily life would consist of a bunch of daily ingredients that I've come to just love. Some I have in my life right now and some I don't. One of those would be the ocean. I love the ocean. I need that in my life. My dream life consists of living on the ocean. Like, I'm talking from the living room, huge glass windows. The ocean is right there. I can hear the waves crashing. My puppies, of course, doing a lot of the same things that I do now, probably in different ways. I love what I do. But also family. I really want a family. I really want a husband, a dedicated partner that chooses to just full send it with me, like all the way, and I'm open to having children, so if that's where that leads as well. And if those children end up being dogs, I'm happy with that too. So yeah, I think for me, just create that next step for me is that partnership, that family, and continuing to do what I do. And be fulfilled in all the different aspects of life, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, training, cardio. I was designed to be an athlete. I know that. So my dream life is like living in a place that lights my soul on fire, doing the things that I love with the people and the person that I love.
Do you think you'll ever start competing in some sort of fighting?
This question has been posed so many times recently, and I really respect all of the women that do it. And I really do have so much respect for them. And maybe my opinion will change over time. But where I currently feel for myself is I feel like it's a little unnatural for women to beat the shit out of each other. You know, like just my personal perspective and just for myself, I feel like it's unnatural. Like, would I do it in a heartbeat if I needed to? 1,000% without hesitation. But for me to intentionally put myself in that scenario, maybe it comes from ignorance. Maybe it comes from ignorance of not being educated about it as a sport. But anytime I see like the UFC and them like literally beating the shit out of each other, I'm like, I don't think that I want to subject myself to that. You know, I respect them, but I just don't think that it's for me. I'm open to if that changes or if I become more aware or whatever, but that's just kind of how I currently feel right now. You know, I'll whoop some ass if I need to, but I'm not going to sign up to get my ass whooped, you know?
Yeah.
And vice
So
versa.
when you're training, are you training mostly with men?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. I'm usually one of the only girls.
Have you fought any women, or you don't want to?
No, just it's a very male dominant field in sport, I guess. So there's definitely women that train there, and there's this one who she's in her 60s and she trains jujitsu. She's a brown belt. And dude, she like kind of hurts sometimes. Like she's sitting there on like, she'll get you on mount, right? So you're like on your back and she's like mounted on you. But like, it's just, she's so technical that you're like, can you like ease up a little bit? But she's so good, you know? So women are great to train with. But it's just, you know, it is a male dominant sport.
Do you think the men are more gentle with you? Like maybe
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Sometimes if they're very aware, I actually love the fact that they're able to let you train and get things in. They're not like giving you positions per se, but they know like, okay, this is a woman. I'm not going to put 100% of my pressure. Yeah. I'm going to put 70% so that she's struggling and, you know, but they're not putting 100%. And the ones that are not body aware and they do put 100%, like, I mean, I literally got like a rib crushed in because I was on my side and this man that was huge, he didn't even put 100% on me, and I know it. And he still like crushed a rib because I'm just so much smaller and I weigh a lot less than him, you know? Yeah. So he didn't even know that he did it. It wasn't intentional. And he was doing a great job. It's just the size difference. I probably shouldn't have been rolling with him, you know, which is something you learn by experience. Yeah.
Do you have any more other questions about fighting? Otherwise, I have something else.
We know you have something else.
I have to like.
You're so quiet. Are you always this quiet?
No, he's not always this quiet. But I also know sometimes I can run over him a little.
Oh,
I don't mean to though. No, but right now you're just.
I'm just chilling.
Chilling. Like, yeah. Right now he's just.
Are you enjoying it?
Oh no, he can be all fucking crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, when she's somebody's talking, I just.
Yeah, let him flow.
Yeah, I'm letting her flow. So it's like I don't want to be like.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know. What made you want to get into to martial arts, fighting in general?
Yeah, I wanted to do it for so long, but bodybuilding just kind of took priority. And so not having bodybuilding, I was able to make it a priority in my life. And I also think it's really important for women to be capable and equipped and be able to protect themselves. You know, your dad's not always going to be there. Your brother's not always going to be there. If you're married or something, your husband or boyfriend or whatever is not always going to be there. The reality is that we do live in a world that contains evil in it. So even if you haven't been exposed to it, it is out there. And I think it's really important just to be equipped, whether you're a man or a woman, but especially as a woman in these days. So I want to be able to be confident and know that I can protect myself, know that I can just do whatever I can to not make myself a victim. I never want to be a victim. I will never be a victim. And I also want to be able to protect the people around me. You know, if I have my sisters or my nieces and nephews, like I want to feel capable. I don't want to be shocked in a circumstance, you know, like I want a circumstance to happen and me to not even think. I'm just like responding with all the ways that I've trained. So there's a lot that goes into it. But
for me, just want to add this from, I don't know if you are an alpha man or you consider yourself an alpha man, you would want to be with a alpha woman. And my definition of that is someone that would be able to defend herself and my children if I'm off, working somewhere. And I know that she's in the house alone and she has my kids in the house. And I just want her to have that animal instinct if I'm not there, because I know I have it. I know if anyone breaks in my house, they're going to meet the devil himself. So, because that's kind of what you have to turn yourself into, especially when, somebody tries to, violate your space or, especially with your families there. So I would encourage all women to learn some sort of martial arts, rather it's boxing. Boxing, I say, ideally would be the first sport because, you're going to be, it's a hand-to-hand combat for me. That's just me. Then you gravitate towards something else that you like, and then so on and so on, So for the most part, learn how to shoot too, learn how to shoot somebody's head off if they come into the house, and that's just kind of my style. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I think everyone should learn how to utilize a firearm and to be able to have that for self-protection. It's really important. And I will say, I think I tend to tell people, women, to learn jujitsu because with, boxing, women are so much smaller than men, and the chances that they are going to like knock somebody out or like be able to punch them and create damage is just way less. Whereas if you learn something like grappling, oftentimes women will find themselves in scenarios, unfortunately, where someone may be already on top of them and then something starts to happen where they
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so they might not have that ability or that distance to throw a punch or to throw a kick. Like there's so many times where it's just you're already in a situation and then that situation goes poorly. And it's actually a lot of positions that you start to learn in jiu-jitsu, which is really amazing because, if you have someone on top of you, you actually know how to sweep them and get them off of you, or, like things that you can do. You can put them in a triangle or choke them, there's so many options that you're given, which I feel like are really applicable to women who oftentimes are probably smaller than the man.
So you're saying jiu-jitsu is the thing?
Yeah.
I've never tried. I've done kickboxing and boxing. So jiu-jitsu will be my next.
Yeah, give it a try. And I love them all. Like you guys know, I train, jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai on the regular, and I love boxing. So I love doing it all. Like I want to be a really well-rounded athlete, but I do believe that is very applicable for, women. I actually knew a guy in class who he learned jiu-jitsu because he had a son with special needs, and his son was older and actually bigger. And sometimes he would get a little violent, like the son. So the dad learned jiu-jitsu in order to hold him down and let him calm down so that he didn't have to he was like, I don't know what to do. He's like hurting our family and he doesn't mean to, but he had to learn it in order to control him until he could calm down. He could control him without harming him, which was really cool. There's so many stories like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I highly recommend.
I think we gotta wrap up soon, but I have to ask, what's your favorite cheat meal?
Oh, I love food so much.
How much of a foodie are you? Let me hear some stories.
Oh, okay. How much of a foodie am I? First off, you can find me eating food on YouTube, like all over.
Yeah,
because I would always.
Okay, I'm gonna go search this.
I would always film my like post-competition meals, and I'm like not exaggerating. If anything, I'm really holding back. Like when people watch videos, because like at first I was just, really letting myself feel how I feel. And then I was like, okay, people are really watching now. And I'm like, maybe I should tone it down a little bit. But like, I feel that shit in my soul. Like the deepest parts of my soul come alive. I sometimes actually get a little drunk from food. Like,
oh, hell yes, girl. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's not like I'm eating a lot. Like it can literally it's just like an explosion of flavors. I feel like I was given this like really amazing ability to like taste every single flavor. So like I really love food.
Have you ever been food hungover the day after?
Oh,
you eat so much that you walk around all day after and feel like you actually are hungover.
I have, but I don't do that anymore because I hate feeling off. So I actually don't like overeat anymore at all, but I will enjoy the hell out of the bites that I do have. You've been very controlled
while we were here.
Oh yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, I just, I like to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I love my food, but like okay.
After my competition, I'm gonna come here and we're gonna go eat.
100%. Okay, favorite cheat meal. I think my go-to is probably like a juicy ass burger and sweet potato fries. Like, and then maybe like some brownie with like ice cream on it, like a warm brownie with cold ice cream. There's a lot of things going through my mind.
When's the last time you had a cheat meal?
Oh, I'm good. Like on my birthday trip when I went to the islands, I literally ate out every single night, and I had dessert like most nights. I treated myself good. So for now, I'm just not having any meals. That was like during my birthday week, June 15th, and it's like a month later. So I'm sure. Oh, I had pizza a week after that.
What do you think is like a good advice? Because everybody has their ways. And I said, I figured out what works for me. What do you think, like, what works for you to not have a lot of cravings and still, you know, be able to treat yourself? But what is a good way, you think, to be able to manage this and not overdo something?
Number one, what you focus on, you create more of. So if you were sitting there on Instagram only watching foodie videos, looking at all the desserts, all these things, it seems innocent, but then eventually it actually turns into a problem. Like it turns into obsessing about food. Similarly, if you are obsessing over just the clean food that you're eating and you're like, oh my gosh, I can only have this, and it becomes like the main focus of your day. Even if you're like, okay, every single meal has to be perfect or the most delicious or whatever, and you're putting so much emphasis on food, ask yourself, like, how much of my thought space is food taking every single day? And if it's a lot, like, you may be starting to obsess about it. So for me, the way that I view food is I want to feel good from the inside out. I want to perform well when I'm in my training sessions. I want to have energy for that. I want to be able to recover. I want to enjoy it, absolutely. But like, I also will eat cold food and like not blink twice. Like, I just don't care about it. For me, food truly is fuel. Like, it's just there to help me feel good, think good, you know, perform well. And then I really look forward to my treat meals, but I don't go overboard with it simply because I don't want to have a stomach ache ever. Like, I don't care if it's a Friday, Saturday, Monday. I don't want a stomach ache. I want to feel good. I want to enjoy myself. So if I go out, I'm going to have the burger and fries. I'm going to have some dessert, and then I'm good. And then it's back to my program. I'm at home. I'm drinking my greens before I go to bed. I'm drinking my water on my BCAAs. I don't like, and here's the thing. It took me practice to get here. I definitely was the person that, like, when I would go off, it's like I'd have a cheat meal and then I'm like, well, we already went off. Let's get snacks on the way home from the grocery store. And you go and get shit food, right? And then you continue eating, and like it turns into this like kind of a little bit of like a bender, you know?
Yeah.
Or
well,
like,
I definitely do that still. But
yeah.
I never have cravings anymore. I used to have such bad cravings, and now 2 shows in a row now, no cravings.
Oh, that's amazing.
I even told him, like, I had my cheat with him before last show, and we ate it, and I said, you know what? It wasn't even as good as I thought it would be. It was gonna be.
Well, you guys are here.
And I had not had a cheat in 4 months then.
Okay, you're wild.
That was crazy.
I've never experienced that. I nearly cry when I have my post-competition meal.
Yeah. Oh, no, this was before. I cheat before the show, too. Before and after.
Well, that's why you didn't have a craving. Once you have it, it's like
but
satisfied.
I said it was the first cheat in 4 months, though. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like when there are other priorities in life, because before I would be like, I would get close to a show and I would be like, my priority now is the meal more than the show.
Totally.
But now I'm like, my priorities have changed. Like, you know, the food would be good. It would be fun and everything, but it's not the highest priority for me anymore.
I think it's because of how you feel and how you look. Because the cleaner you eat, you know, your skin's glowing, you look great,
yes,
you feel leaner, the pumps are better in the gym.
Yeah.
And when you
I think these are things people don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
think we look shredded and whatnot. Fuck, my hair is incredible. The skin, like,
Shelly, let me tell you how good I
nails.
actually
first
am.
and foremost, your hygiene definitely changes when you eat clean. So if you're out
For
there
sure.
eating dirty,
oh, yeah.
you're not gonna, you know. But
Ugh.
going back to
Sorry, I'm
what
just imagining smells from.
yeah.
No, it's like all of these
I hope
things
I
that I
didn't
feel
smell when
like
I was rolling on
feel like
you.
people
No,
need
no,
to talk
no,
more
You know,
about.
I mean, no.
But like on the mats, there's
just
definitely
kidding.
some
Just talking
people that
shit.
I'm like,
Yeah.
your diet is not good.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know why I want to touch base on this, but I related to you when you were talking about your dream home, because it's exactly how I want my house to be.
No way.
Literally, like, if I wake up in the morning, you know, my bedroom on the left hand side, I'd look over and like literally I'd have one glass window, massive window, and I could just open the curtains and I could see the ocean. Once I go downstairs,
I'll take that too.
if I were to go downstairs, walk down the stairs, and then on my left hand side again, you know, the entire living room, you'll be able to see the ocean right in front of you. And yeah, I would want that. And somebody that has that house is Derek Rose. He has a house right there, and
Who's this?
He's a basketball player, point guard.
Is he single?
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Well, he used to
I'm
play
gonna
for
get my
Chicago
own
Bulls.
house.
I forgot who he plays for now.
I'm just messing.
If you guys listening, please let me know. But his house is in West Palm Beach, and it's actually it's in West Palm Beach, right? I can't.
He's like, I would have said hi, but you got my house wrong.
Yeah. So I would always, to be honest, I would always drive by his house all the time, just to listen. I want to have the house one day. I'm gonna have the house one day. So, yeah.
No, what you just said was really
Manifest it.
important. Yeah, like Look, I think that you have to give yourself the experience of what it would be like, right? So driving by the house and actually imagining it, visualizing it can be so powerful because when you've imagined it so many times in your head, think about like, you know, all the books and like the power of manifesting and all these things, right? It's like your brain starts to not realize the difference between what you're trying to manifest and like what's really reality. And then all of a sudden it like shows up in your life, right? So and maybe that's going off on a little crazy tangent, but it's real, dude.
It is. I said for the past 2 years, like manifest is one of my most common words I use.
In 2 years, I'm going to have my
and
house.
it freaking works.
2 years from today, listening to this podcast, I'm going to have my house.
Yeah.
Good.
Hell yeah.
In 2 years.
Invite us
see.
over and we'll
Good.
do another podcast.
You'll see. In 2 years. 2 years. Remember this. Remember this podcast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna pull it back and like find these little
Yeah,
clips
we'll
where we say this.
But yeah, I guess
Should we
that's
wrap
it.
up?
Yeah, that's it. It's over. It's over.
It's over. It's over.
Unfortunately-
It's over.
Unfortunately, it's over. But you know, I just want to go ahead and thank Emily for coming onto our podcast and also allowing us to be on your podcast. It's been a pretty cool experience, and
And thank you for having
yeah,
us here.
thank you for having us here.
Of course. I just have to say, you guys are such incredible humans. Like, our energy together is so good. Even when we're not talking and we're just on our computers working.
Oh
it's
yeah.
really awesome being around you guys. Even my stepmom, you guys got to meet my parents. That's kind of awesome. My stepmom left yesterday and she was like, those are really good people. And I was like, I know. And she's a really good person. Like, she can really tell. So it made me happy that she was able to just kind of see that from you guys. So yeah, you guys are great.
Thank you. You
I
too.
think that's awesome. I think that's incredible.
I'm so happy I met you.
Be my friend forever.
Yes, it's a
Don't
deal.
leave me.
Alrighty, and now we're off.
Do we have an ending? I
Did I
don't
say
think
bye?
we have an ending.
Was that it?
Now
Do I say bye?
we're
You can end it.
And
Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the show, rate and review the show if you haven't done so already.
Tell them where they can find you. I would write it in the caption too, but
Yeah. Just click the show notes and click my Instagram from there or Google Emily
Instagram,
Hayden.
YouTube, we got it all down there.
Yeah. It's all there. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll see you another episode of
Only do X on prep.
Yep.